Day 1288. The attack came before dawn. No warnings, no speeches, no final chance to surrender. Just the sound of horns echoing through the valley, then chaos. The first explosion struck the eastern wall. The ground shook beneath our feet as fire erupted into the sky. People screamed, guards shouted orders, and Blackthorn charged. Hundreds of them, pouring across the valley like a tidal wave. I remember thinking how impossible it looked, how hopeless, because no matter how strong these walls were, there simply weren't enough of us. But nobody ran, nobody broke. The farmers picked up rifles, mechanics carried ammunition. Men and women who had never seen combat stood shoulder to shoulder beside veteran guards. Because this wasn't just a settlement, it was a home. The battle lasted for hours, maybe longer. Time stopped meaning anything. All that mattered was surviving the next minute, then the next, then the next. Smoke covered the battlefield. The sky had turned black. The air tasted like ash and blood. I lost count of how many times I thought it was over, how many times I thought the walls would fall. And then they did. A section of the northern barrier collapsed with a thunderous crack. The breach opened straight into the settlement. Blackthorn poured through. The fighting moved into the streets, house by house, corner by corner. I found myself separated from everyone else, just me and a handful of defenders trying to slow the advance. That's when I saw him, the Blackthorn leader, walking through the chaos, calm and untouched, almost as if the battle had already been decided. People moved out of his way, even his own soldiers. Fear followed him like a shadow. I don't know what made me do it. Maybe anger, maybe desperation, maybe the simple fact that I was tired of running from monsters. I stepped into the street and raised my rifle. He looked directly at me and smiled. Not because he thought he would win, because he recognized something. Another survivor. Someone who had endured the same broken world. Someone who understood what it took to stay alive. For a moment, neither of us moved. The battle raged around us, but it felt like the entire world had gone silent. Then he spoke. "You don't belong here." His voice was calm, certain. "They'll all die eventually." I tightened my grip on my rifle. "Maybe," I said, "but they're still worth fighting for." The smile disappeared, and for the first time, I saw anger in his eyes. What happened next felt less like a fight and more like a collision. Two people carrying the weight of a dead world. Two different answers to the same question. One believed survival justified anything. The other believed that survival meant nothing without hope. When it was over, the street was silent. The Blackthorn leader lay motionless amongst the rubble. His army stopped fighting. At first, I didn't understand. Then I realized the truth. Blackthorn wasn't a family. It wasn't a community. It wasn't a home. It was fear. And without the man who created that fear, it all fell apart. The remaining raiders retreated after sunset. Some fled into the wasteland, others surrendered. The battle was over. We had won. But victory felt strange. Because victory doesn't erase loss. Too many people were gone. Too many chairs would remain empty at too many tables. That night, the settlement gathered around the central fire. Nobody celebrated. Nobody cheered. We simply just sat, remembering, grieving, surviving. As the flames danced against the darkness, Mara sat beside me. Neither of us spoke for a long time. Finally, she asked me the same question she'd asked me on my first day. "How long are you staying?" I looked around at the rebuilt walls already being planned, at the children helping carry supplies. at the people who had become something I never expected. Family. Then I looked back at the fire, and for the first time since day one, I stopped counting. Because maybe survival wasn't the story anymore. Maybe this was something else, something better. Maybe the world wasn't ending. Maybe it was beginning again. And for once, I wanted to be there to see what happened next.